Yo, yo, yo. Crazy feedback. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike and your boy Wayne. It's gone now. It's gone. Don't even touch it. I don't know what happened. It was crazy, but I heard me inhaling everything. That's wild. But we are here, guys. No harm, no foul. Episode 58, Lock Press Monster. Wayne, let me tell you something, man. Did you know that Seattle is green?
Yes.
You know the Loch Ness Monster was reportedly green?
Yes.
And you put a picture of a dude with
green hair.
Yeah, I don't have none of the cool sound effects and nothing like that, but it's some kind of gunshots or something. Oh my God. The disrespect was so real.
I mean, is it disrespectful? I mean, he colored his hair green. They happen to have a puke color green in their logo. The Loch Ness Monster, who I think, like, and we gotta have that conversation because the 49ers secondary, they like locked. They like they're in sync and they're locked in. And they're locking down. If we go and pull up stats from the last time they played, which we could bump everything from last year. Let's just go off the one time they played this year, because that's all that matters. That's the standard for this year. Yes. Mooney Ward, Diamador Lenore, Ambry Thomas, they put in they strapped in. They locked in. Click. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I can't get the high notes out yet, man. I got to keep my voice down to here right now.
I like it, man. I'm loving it, man. And I think a large part of this is due to Steve Wilks. We're going to talk about all of that stuff, but you guys know, before we jump into the topics, man, we always got to have a little sidebar conversation. I got to get the pulse. I got to get the energy from my guy Wayne over there. I see you wearing that nice-ass hat. I really, really, really like that hat, by the way. Just tell me, is the logo like the plastic or is it the sewn on? Like what is that material for the logo?
It's the sewn on. This is the replicated version of the 1994 logo athletic caps. This is the new era one. So I don't know if you guys remember the LA caps, the logo athletic joints that they had back in that 1994 reign. But this is that replicated version of that. Yeah. I got the Deion Sanders to go with it too. It's kind of dope.
Okay, here come the high step
murderer.
Right. Which, by the way, is funny because the Niners had a player with the name High Stepper. His Twitter handle, who should be in the Hall of Fame, but he's not yet. Not getting it, huh? Roger Craig, man. Roger Craig.
Yeah.
Roger Craig, man. I love me some Roger Craig. But I need to know how you doing today.
We got the newer version of Roger Craig on our team right now.
CMC. Yeah, we got the vanilla flavor. I like that. Yeah. I think CMC is a little bit more dynamic than Roger was, but not by much. Let me be clear with what I'm saying, but not by much. But yeah, I think he's a little bit more dynamic than Roger Craig was. What you think?
Yeah, because at the time Roger Craig was like 1 of 1. But then I think CMC is 1 of 1 too. Like, they're different. Like, you know, it's funny when you look at these running backs that were pass catchers as well as, running backs. They all have different methods or styles of how they do it. You know, even Marshall Faulk, different, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They were all different, and so they all are 1 of 1s. They're not like each other. They can just do the same things, but they do it their own in their own unique way.
Right. The finished product might be similar, but the way they make it is different. The ingredients, the time, and absolutely. So I got a random question for you, and then we'll get into the show. What is a song lyric that you always messed up, but you can't go back and change it no more? Like, I have 2, but I'll give you one. One
because I can't think of. I mess up all the lyrics. I change lyrics to songs and make them my own. I'm
okay, but that might be like your musical. That might be a talent. right?
No,
But
that's just
I
because I
swore I
just
was
don't be
right.
remembering the lyrics at the time when I'm singing it. So I just pick it up.
Okay. Okay. So like my most famous one, I had it set as my wife's ringtone. Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac. And
Right.
you know
Okay.
that that's a fact. Yeah.
So the part that I had on was you lied to me.
Mhm.
When you think that I love you, you lied to me. Right?
Yeah.
I always thought he was saying your lover man. And to this day, when I hear it, that's still what I hear. But I have read official lyrics, and they say what he's actually saying is, you lied to me.
I don't know how you got lover and lied. I mean, he clearly,
Your lover man is what I hear till this very day.
the vowel sounds don't even sound like he's saying your,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. You get the you. I don't even know how you got your in there. Like
I don't know if it was the auto tune that they was using back then or what, bro.
you, it could be. It could be because when you start adding in the processing, it can change. You know what I'm saying? The way it alters the way things sound. So you might hear it.
See? You can't unhear it. You can't. I'm telling y'all, just we can't play it for copyright purposes.
I don't hear that. I don't know what y'all talking about.
When next time you hear that song, just please, I beg of y'all to just remember what I'm saying. Your lover man.
I will
and
never.
So I
hear
had that set as my girl's ringtone. Well, she was my girl at the time. This was before we got married. I had that set
Why
as
didn't
her
you just
ringtone.
have Mr. Lover Man Shabba?
Nah, I no, because that was, you know what, I had a beef with Shaba. No, it wasn't. Wait, was it Shaba? What's the one that we found out he had a fake accent the whole time?
Oh, that's no. I don't know who that is.
It was wasn't me.
Shaggy.
What's his name? Shaggy. Shag. That's who it was.
Wait,
Shaggy. It wasn't.
fake. He wasn't. He's not really Jamaican.
I don't know anything about where he's from.
Okay, he doesn't have the real patois accent.
That was fake. The whole thing was fake.
No,
It wasn't me. It wasn't your accent either. That joint was super fake. I saw him in an interview just talking normal. Like, wait, I know this face. I know this voice, but who is that?
I don't know. But you know what I do know?
She called me Mr. Boombastic. Yeah, him. Fake. Wrong. All wrong. Nope.
That's funny, bro. You know what I do know? I know that the 49ers they got 16 candidates for the Pro Bowl. 16 players in the top 10.
Playing, man.
Yo, in the top 10, though.
Wait, is this real or are you just saying this?
Wait, how you got 16
How you
players
got 16?
in the
That's
top
what I was gonna
10?
say. What are you saying?
I don't know. They doubling up. Which was Mace's worst album ever of all. Like that had to be the worst rap album of all time.
We're not shooting at Mace because I'm not Melissa Ford. They shoot back at us. It's gonna be I'm going off.
Bro, I want that. We need to start that. That is fine with me.
Oh,
Them cats don't know what the hell they talk about anyway. And why they talk about sports? Man, stop talking about sports. They need to talk about anything else but sports.
Don't give me ideas because you know I'll come in here and turn up. Like don't. So let's talk about these Pro Bowlers or let's talk
16 players in the top 10 categories. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. 16 players. So multiple, so they'll have like a Debo and Ayuk in the wide receiver category. So of all the categories, they have a total of 16 players in there. Okay, that makes more sense.
What's up,
that
Corey?
Makes a lot more sense.
Corey, I tried to get Corey to call in earlier. Corey was busy at work.
Corey got on.
Not on my show. I didn't hear him.
The wait, Corey with a K, is it he? And I'm not judging. Actually, yeah, we do know of Corey's with a K. Never mind. Rest in peace. We just lost a Corey with a K, Corey Davis, and that was with a K also. I have a younger cousin who's okay. I have an older cousin whose name is Corey with a C, but he has a daughter and they named her Corey. But they spelled it with a K. Yeah.
The Niners are going to the Pro Bowl this year. They're going to be in Florida.
The Niners probably aren't going to. Oh wait, when did they do the Pro Bowl? Now was it before the Super Bowl?
It's the week before. I think it's the week of the Senior Bowl.
We're not going though.
Nah, none of those players are gonna make it.
Nah, we gonna be busy. We're gonna be playing game planning for the Super Bowl. Wayne, man, let me tell you. We talked all off season about the secondary being a concern.
You talked. I told y'all not to worry.
Okay. All right. It was just me. I was concerned about the secondary all off season. Would we be wrong to say, as of today, right now in this moment, and this is going to sound wild when I say it, so let me just go ahead and say it.
Wild, wild west.
Is the secondary better than the defensive line?
No. No. But the secondary has gotten better because of the defensive line.
Oh, see, and that's where I disagree. I went back and watched 2 of those 3 sacks from last week.
It's just that. Well, that's last week, but it ain't been like that all season, bro. So don't cap and come up here and be like the secondary been locking their mans down all season. They've been playing different types of coverages, and you're seeing more man in this game. So in man, yeah, they getting it, they locking it. Now the real question should be, will we see more man coverage moving forward? Because isn't that a trust thing from the coordinator, right? Like, isn't that like, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, doesn't he?
I do. I get what you're saying. I think they're doing man versus the zone stuff. I think they're doing that based off of the opposing team's personnel and players, like the specific individuals. I really think that's what they're doing. Because not for nothing, you don't want a guy like DK Metcalf streaking through your zone. He's going to go from one responsibility to the other so quickly.
He's just too fast, though. He's too fast. Like, you know, you saw what happened last week. So the week after we bust their chops, you saw DK bust. He went. You can't play zone against him. You man up, and you bump him up, and you live with what happens, you know, afterwards. But like he's too fast, too big.
But for the last 3 weeks, we've seen more coverage sacks than regularly earned sacks.
I agree, but I'm not saying that I wasn't saying that the secondary was weak, but the defensive line are creating pressures. So it's not like the pressures aren't there. What are you saying? They're not getting the sacks? Because 46
I saw Jalen Hurts. I saw Jalen Hurts doing jumping jacks in the pocket.
The pressures is once you move the quarterback out the pocket, that means there's a pressure. So the pressures were there. There was 46 pressures recorded in this game. Now the coverage was great because it wasn't allowing him to throw the ball. Right?
How was all right?
What?
You said it was 46 pressures in this game.
Yeah.
He had 45 passing attempts and 3 sacks. So that means that 48 passing attempts in total. So you're telling me every time
that was passed though, because they had Mariota in there.
Mariota had 3 attempts. So, but either way, but basically every time they dropped back, it was a pressure. Did your eyes tell you that, or did the numbers tell you that?
I mean, my eyes told me as well as the numbers. You saw him move. He moved. That doesn't mean that they got to him. I never said they got to him. Pressure is broken down into 3 statistical categories: hits, hurries, and sacks. So they sacked him 3 times. They hurried him 37 times. They forced him to try to make a play, and there were times he made plays. He completed some of those passes, crossing routes, slants, things like that, things that weren't so quick. It was that the coverage, which you're alluding to, was just a lock. Like, I think in this game, this might have been the best coverage game we saw for the San Francisco 49ers, but you still saw their wide receivers underneath eat. Underneath. Like, they were eating, like, literally.
I don't think this was the best coverage game for them. I think Seattle's game was better than this one as far as coverage goes.
I mean, because it could be arguably. I mean, like, how many yards they give up in this game compared to they gave up in Seattle?
Oh, no, that's a good question. See, now you're cooking. So they gave up a total of 287 passing yards.
What?
287 passing yards. Yes,
and
sir.
What did they do against Seattle?
And then against Seattle, they gave up. Oh, crap. You know, I hate when you do that because I typed in 49ers Seattle, and it took me to the upcoming game. So my apologies. Let me get back to this one. Stats. They gave up 200. Oh wait, that's total yards. Damn, we mashed the boys out. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
thought that
we
was gonna be
did.
the passing yards. I thought that was passing yards. Where is it? All right, here we go. Total yards, total plays, efficiency, first down, team stat. Where's the total
Here, I
number?
got you, bro. I got you, dog. You my dog.
132. This can't be right. What game is this
No,
from?
that's right. They
They
gave
only
up 200.
okay,
They only had 220 yards, and
132
132 of them were
passing.
passing yards.
Last game, that Seattle game was definitely better.
It was better, but it could be due to personnel, right? It could be like you look at their receivers. They manned up on. You can't like who. All right, let me ask this question: Who has the better receivers, Seattle or the Eagles?
I really, really like Devontae Smith, so I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Yeah,
But
so it's gonna be
I wouldn't be mad if anybody tried to make a case for Seattle. Seattle has Lockett and DK over there, and then their other guys aren't slouches either.
yeah, but like Lockett isn't the same guy he was 5 years ago. DK is their number one. You look at the Eagles, they got like two number ones. I would say that the Eagles have two number ones. Devontae Smith was drafted to be a number one. He was their number one. Then they went and traded for AJ Brown. Now he's their number one. So technically they got two number ones. And then I think they're kind of like a push at that third wide receiver, fourth wide receiver, because you'll get some of those that'll be interchangeable with both offenses. When you looked at what Mooney Ward did to DK Metcalf, he was officially like a lock, like he couldn't get off. But AJ Brown, to me, is a better receiver than DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf might have better measurables. He might be faster. He might be bigger. But I think, as far as a pure receiver, I think the edge, and I don't think it's far, but I think the edge goes to AJ Brown. He always can get open. You're muted.
I said, now that's funny because I agree with you, right? I do think AJ Brown is a better overall wide receiver than DK Metcalf, but I think Tyler Lockett is a better wide receiver than AJ Brown. Now, he might be past his prime now, but when I think of those guys in their prime, I'm taking Tyler Lockett over AJ Brown. I'm definitely doing that. I'm definitely doing that.
I don't know, bro. But Tyler Lockett was never a number one wide receiver too.
He was never in the pass first offense. He was never in the pass.
Because you're trying to say that they had Marshawn Lynch and they ran first. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. Now again, it's debate. Like I said, I would respect any side of the debate. If you wanted to say, "Oh, I'll take theirs over theirs" and all that, I get both sides. I understand that. But what I want us to just focus on is that this defense, I think the last two games has been carried by the secondary.
And that's funny. Well, they had 5 sacks against Seattle, right?
And three against
and
three
three.
against.
And I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna argue that. But I think the secondary. You said the last two games, and it's funny how we picked the last two games. We talked about the passing yards. It's hard to argue against that because you're watching the secondary with new pieces. Find a way to get it done.
Where's my bomb at?
When you look at the secondary, I mean, I don't think he's going to get enough credit, and that's fine. But I think the progression of Ambry Thomas, whatever needle he took for confidence or whatever it is that he's been shot up with, like that has allowed Steve Wilks to be in his bag.
Listen.
I know everybody wants to talk about Mooney because he's the lock. I know everybody wants to talk about Deommodore Lenoir because he's a lock. But I don't think everybody's really understanding what's going out there in that secondary, Mike.
Before kickoff, just 3 games ago, I said Demo number 1, Thomas number 2. I was over Ward. I was coming in hating on Mooney.
You were. I remember. We got it on camera.
Yeah. Run the tape back, right? Like, yes, I was in here hating on him. And I said it. I said, yo, he must have heard me. Like, after that game, he must have heard me. Then he came back and he did it again. Then he came back and he did it again. I said, okay, all right, something got into this kid. Something got. Now, I don't know if it's.
Like, what you were seeing were him dealing with NFL officials, like that getting into his head, because that's what can happen. Don't get it twisted. Like, all these receivers got to do is try to initiate some type of weird contact or run a slick move. You run into them. That one penalty will have you trajecting downward. You got to be able to shake it off, right? We saw Ambry Thomas go through it at the beginning of the year, right? You saw Deommodore Lenoir actually go through it at the beginning of the year, right?
And the end of the year before.
But he was leading the team in penalties, and then it got taken over by Mooney Ward. So I get it, but it was a penalty-heavy based type of thing situation for these guys. I think these guys always had the ability to do what they came out here and did. You would watch Mooney kind of get beat and coverage on a couple of plays, but the thing that I loved about Mooney was somehow, some way, he had something called closeout speed. Like, he can find a way to get the middle fingernail on a ball. What I'm witnessing right now, Mike, from the San Francisco defensive backs is their technique has changed. And if you want to understand, if you don't know what I mean by that, look at the way that they're playing these defenders, right? They're going to give up underneath routes. That is what they are trained and told to do. You give up the underneath route, but you're there to secure the tackle. No yak. The only time there's yak is if the safety misses that tackle, cancels out the DB, Jair Brown, and next thing you know, it's a big bang. Other than that, these cornerbacks are right on it. They're doing that to prevent explosive plays. But here's what I'm realizing. In the red zone, the mother freakers are locks. I mean locks. They like for AJ Brown to put out that tweet, you could tell he was in his feelings. For him to put out that tweet about Ambry Thomas, that's kind of whack.
After the game?
You didn't see the picture he posted?
Come on, no, bro. I don't.
Okay,
no, I don't
so he posted a picture of like something about, you got to throw me the ball. Look who's covering me. And he put Ambry Thomas. He used a picture of Ambry Thomas, but then put his picture in the picture and then just wrote it. But he didn't say it was Ambry Thomas. You guys, y'all saw the picture? It was like, I wish I had it. It's like a frame with.
I have his tweet. He don't tweet a lot. Are you sure this is on Twitter?
I believe it was on Twitter. But anyway, my point is, Ambry had you on lock, dog. Like, you didn't get the pass. You didn't complete the pass, dog. Like, so yeah, they could have force fed you and threw you the ball because you were open, but they didn't, because that one time Ambry had you on lock. You ain't catch it, bro. like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't catch it. Wait a minute, I gotta bring it down. You didn't catch it, bro. So like, yeah, you that dude, but stop crapping on these players. Wide receivers are gonna make plays. Cornerbacks are gonna get beat. This is the NFL. But when it mattered the most, you ain't getting the end zone, dog. Don't be salty. Just accept it. It didn't happen. Mooney Ward. And here's what I was talking about, technique. Mike, you know why they're not calling pass interference now?
Because they getting their heads around?
Because they getting their heads around. There's contact, but do you peep how there's contact on both sides? Do you see how But do you see how the Niner players are in physical, like, connected to these receivers to allow that contact to be seen both ways? What do the DBs do? And then make a play for the ball. That is the difference, Mike. Then it used to, that's the difference. That technique right there, that little bitty turn of the head is the difference, Mike.
Okay.
I just know about don't sweat the technique. We got some Big Daddy Kane fans out here. We got a bunch of. I love it.
Nah, that technique was hitting though. Like I
Taste the chocolate. That was my album.
You are explaining to us what the difference is, But I've never seen a secondary just flip a switch like this, where all of a sudden this secondary almost looks plug and play. Wayne, almost. Let me.
Well, give me the almost, Mike, because you said almost. So I'm curious why
there's still some issues with the safety position,
and there's issues with the nickelback position. So like you have to.
Wait, now hold up.
Yeah, because depending on who they're using at the nickel, there'll be some discrepancies there, right? I think
Demo's been fine.
I'm just saying when Demo goes to the outside, they don't play all out. Every time is not the only one that still he play outside. He start outside. Demo will still go to the outside. They still insert Isaiah Oliver in there. It's just that they're trying to get Isaiah Oliver in there on certain packages to take away certain run plays. But there's going to be times where those formations is going to force him to cover. That to me is still a discrepancy. When you saw him as a weakness, when you seen him have to play safety, it was a weakness. They took advantage. Now on that first play to AJ Brown, luckily he had the closing speed to make the tackle. I think you finally saw it. I think that was the affirmation. That's kind of cold, right? Cold-blooded.
But when did he post this?
It was a meme. They said Lake City said
it was a meme with the old the little white lady that was like, you want to fight, like
but it was pointing to Ambry Thomas.
How can you tell when somebody posted something though on the computer version of it? I don't know how to tell, but yes, no, that was definitely, and at his very last slide is Ambry Thomas in front of him. Mm-hmm. His very last slide. Listen,
AJ Brown finished the game. Between him and Devontae Smith, they were pretty darn good. Like I thought they did the thing. They just couldn't. Devontae got into the end zone and AJ Brown didn't. Like, but don't be salty about it.
Right. One of them had 9 catches for, and then the other one had 8 catches for 90 and a touchdown or something like that. So yeah, they did well, but they both.
AJ Brown had 114 yards, bro.
Like the other guy had 90 something, like 94 and a touchdown, 8 catches.
We let their 2 best players, their 2 weapons. You know what the Niners did in that game? Took away the run.
Yeah. Well, they threw the ball almost 50 times. That was the key to success right there. 50 times, and that's all they got, bro.
48, bro.
And that's then 3 sacks. Like they was dropping back all game long.
Yeah, they got a great offensive line. I would say any other offensive line. Just imagine if the Niners weren't playing that offensive line and a quarterback was holding the ball for 60 seconds. Like, imagine.
We are this close to seeing the perfect defensive game. I'm telling you.
I know. Defensive line, the front cooks, the secondary going to get some picks, and the linebacker is going to walk off the Cabo before the season ends. No, I got you, bro.
It's going to be phenomenal. I can't, Wayne, I can't wait to see it. Go ahead.
Quick matchups, right? It's the same team. I think they're going to try to get Jackson Smith and Jigba involved a little bit more. And so slot outside. What's going to go down, man? Like, how do you feel like that? Jackson Smith and Jigba to me was their best receiver against us when we played him on Thanksgiving. I thought that was the guy that's kind of had the sneaky get open type stuff. He had the big explosive
He was the guy that was running through the zone.
Correct.
He was the guy running across the field, and that's just part of what gets Niners. It's that and screens. Like those are the 2 areas where you can get the. Don't try to one-on-one us to death on the outside. It's not going to favor you.
It's not going to work. But that's what the Niners want. And so, that's why I said, Mike, you talked about to bring it back into fruition before we get to Fernando's contribution. You said that. That the secondary has been holding it down, blah, 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 which they have, and they might be the strength of the defense. Okay, cool. I know that's not what you said, but I'm alluding to that's what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I get it. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get the zone busters coming in to town because you can lock down these guys like Tyler Lockett, a little bit slower, DK Metcalf, size matchup, Mooney Ward. I think Mooney's in his head. Sometimes it just be the matchup ain't good, right? Boom, bam, bam. Now you're gonna get this little kid, and they might insert some Jake Bobo and Dwayne Eskridge, D. Eskridge, and all these little quick guys in the slot that we haven't seen that might try to take advantage. And that's why, Mike, that pass rush back to the front has to be better because they need to find a way to get to this quarterback to affect negative throws in the zone. Fernando, thank you for the contribution. He says, how impressed were you with the offensive line, Mike?
I thought our offensive line deserved a round of applause. I did.
2 sacks. A total, I think, of 17 pressures, if that. Might not even been that many.
These guys were well adjusted, but this was nope, not going to do that. They did exactly what they needed to do to allow Purdy to be as efficient as Purdy, I think, had 26 attempts in this game, bro. That means that he dropped back 28 times.
19 for 27.
Yeah. 27? Okay, I'm sorry, 27. What was 26? Oh, that might be how many completions Hurts had. 26 was somewhere on that.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, I know 26 was somewhere on there, and I remember thinking attempts. I remember seeing attempts and completions being almost identical. That's what it was. So, but yeah, so they did exactly what they needed to do. Very, very, very impressive game, especially because they were under a lot of scrutiny. The way that I was going for Mooney Ward 3-4 weeks ago is the way everybody has been going at our offensive line lately, especially Burford. And then when Burford got that penalty early in the game, what was the second drive? I think it was the second drive Burford got that penalty call. Oh, man, everybody, pitchforks was out. The live chat was crazy. He's a bum. Get him out of here. We don't want him no more. Way to rebound, way to maintain composure and go out there and say, no, we got this. We got this. Because, by the way, the Eagle defensive line is no slouch. Let's be very clear with what we're saying here. That they don't have a bunch of bums on that defensive line. So they did well. They did really well. Congrats to our offensive line. I would give them an 8 out of 10. And I'm lying. 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. They did good.
I could dig it. And they were going up against probably one of the toughest defensive fronts in the NFL. They got to do it again, though, against Seattle. And I don't think Seattle brings the same toughness, but I think they come out with all cards on deck. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get Frank Clark. You're gonna get some of these dogs, Boye Mafe, speed on the edge. Like you're gonna get this is a divisional game, so you're going to get some things you might not have seen. Now they might not have been ready, but they're gonna come out on the road swinging. But here's the thing. This is what I watched. I witnessed a negative 6-yard quarter. I witnessed negative 6 yards in 15 minutes. I don't think there's anything else I need to see. Now, if it happened for 2 quarters, that's when you panic. I'm gonna shoot you a little panic. But I just watched a team on the road named the San Francisco 49ers have negative 6 yards on offense, but a defense only allows 6 points in that time frame. And then they flipped the switch, flipped the button, and went to work. I don't think that the San Francisco 49ers will struggle like that at home, whether they receive the ball first or whether they receive the ball first at the end of the half. I just don't see that happening again, no matter what Seattle brings. And I think if they blitz, I want them to blitz. I've never said this in my life. Please blitz, because that's where Brock Purdy feasts.
He gonna tear you up. The timing and the footwork, all that. We gonna get back to it, man. RG Teamster says here, Dom's earpiece isn't plugged into anything. All I know is every video and picture I've seen.
Too, Mike.
Oh yeah,
NFL, yeah, that's under review.
Good. Every video and picture I've seen of Sirianni, now I can't help but see this dude right next to him.
And that I can agree with. Like I never paid him any attention.
Right.
Before, but now when I look at Sirianni, he's always there. So he's really Sirianni's bodyguard. But if Sirianni wasn't the person getting touched, why are you touching my player?
And that's a story for another time, man. That's a story for another time, guys. We are out of time. We gave y'all 5 extra minutes. Shout out to the people who contributed with the super chats. We appreciate you all, man. But listen, man, this was a fun week. We are turning the page. Tomorrow is going to be our preview of the game. So y'all make sure y'all are here. We are going to talk more about matchups. I know Wayne alluded to it tonight, who we plan on seeing on who, coverage and secondary, whose offensive line will hold up better against the opposing team's defensive line. We can't wait to break all that stuff down. Make sure you guys are here live and locked in. Wayne, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Stay faithful.
That's it. No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. I'm Mike. That's Wayne. And this is No Harm, No Foul. Peace.